You might close down your eyes, or you might take a steady gaze that's sort of downward for today. And honor where you are right now. And thank yourself, your body, your heart, your brain for showing up. You might start with feeling what's going on outside of your body, so that your external landscape, there's a slight breeze that's happening. The ground is still a little wet. We can hear I think those are insects chirping. There'll be birds flying through. And so you sort of ground yourself with your environment and orient to that. And then do you kind of settle, then you can sort of orient more internally. You might even notice your breath a bit here, the inhale, the exhale, the sound that it makes, the rhythm of your own heart beating, and then the rhythm of your body, your internal organs working and moving together. And before class, we were talking about just the uncertainty that's going on. And sometimes that's hard to manage. And so the practice sort of tells us that we start with ourselves. And so we then learn to regulate and bring compassion to ourselves, our bodies. So we can then bring all of that to everybody else. So we can learn to respond and regulate and bring compassion to others, especially now, especially when we might not understand what's going on or the suffering that's happening around the world or in our communities. And so the practice says we start with ourselves. And so right here, you might land your hands somewhere at the center of your heart. They could connect in a prayer or Anjali Mudra. You might bring one hand to heart center, even one hand to belly, or keep your hands in a place that feels grounded for you. Maybe you sit up a little taller or feel the chin lift and the crown elevate. And you breathe full and deep, and you set your personal intention. And we have the harmonium today. So you'll hear the sound of Om. You'll actually hear it 3 times today. And the Oms will sort of roll one into the next. And you can join if you'd like, or listen along. Together we breathe in. You can let your intention sort of settle on that vibration, that sound of Om. Maybe it plants a little seed in your heart, or it sends out some energy for someone or something else. Then as you lower your hands and blink your eyes open, you can reorient yourself to the space and maybe regulate your breath just a bit. So maybe another deep breath right here. Filling up completely, energizing, and then maybe just a full and complete exhale. And then you'll make sure that you're really steady in your seat. So if you're feeling uncomfortable or any dis-ease, you can sort of move around, but otherwise you'll stay here and then float the arms out, and then they can reach up overhead. And here you might grab a wrist and just kind of stretch out just a bit, side to side, side to side. Notice what's happening in the side ribs, the side body. And then keep the arms lifted. You might let go of the wrist here. You can certainly look up, look up, look up. And then as you exhale, turn to one side. And so it doesn't matter which side you turn to, you'll turn to whatever side suits you. Drop the hands down in whatever way, either on your knee or out in front of you or directly behind you. Good morning. Hey. Another breath in. You can exhale, maybe ring it out just a little deeper. And then move yourself back through to center and let the arms swing up. You'll reach up, 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 up here. And then go the other way. And so turn your body in the other direction and ring it out here. Continue to breathe, steady in, steady out. And then unwind. You'll face forward, reach the arms up. One final time right here. And then as you exhale, lower the hands, bring the hands somewhat slightly back behind you and undo your feet. You'll kind of step them out in front of you and maybe shake out your legs, roll out your ankles, flare your toes a bit. Take the hands back behind you and you might lean back a bit here. And your fingers can face in whatever direction feels comfortable for you, right? So that's going to depend on your wrists. You'll then bend your knees to put your feet on the ground. And you'll make sure there's just a little bit of space behind you. So if you're at the back edge of the mat, you might slide up just a bit. You might slide up. Nice. And so you're holding yourself up here. Now, can you lift the upper corners of the chest? I'll turn around. And then maybe grab and reach your hands now to the tops of the shins. And so you're sort of holding yourself up through your strong center. Lift through the core or lift through crown of the head. And then maybe reach forward. Right? If you need to widen your feet in any way, you can. That might support the shape. Another breath in. And then exhale, you'll tuck your chin and start to roll down, but you'll stop before you get to the ground. A little bit of make sure there's space behind you. A little bit of energy here. And then reach forward and sit up. Yeah. And if that doesn't feel great, you can always put your hands down or one hand to support you. So you'll reach forward again, tuck the chin a bit and start to roll down. So you can always bring your hand down. Yeah, my hand is down to support. And then you'll sit back up. So a little bit of lift up in the chest. Last one to get you all the way down on your back. And so you roll down, you hover. If you need to put both elbows down, you can always do that and kind of stay here. If you're feeling like you want a little bit more core engagement, you reach forward, you hover the low back, you keep lowering, you hover the shoulder blades, you keep lowering, and then finally you get down onto the mat. And now you're down here and you might stretch the arms over your head and notice where you are. You might reach the toes out in front of you. Yeah, making sure you're feeling okay where you are in your space. And then draw your knees into your chest. So give yourself a hug. And so your knees draw in, you can grab your thighs, the backs of your legs. You might roll around a little bit if that feels comfortable. And then you'll start to bend and straighten your legs. And you can go one leg at a time. So you'll reach one leg up towards the sky, and then you might switch here just to feel what's going on in the backs of your legs. So a little bit of kind of extension and flexion. So keep going. You can hold your legs if you need. So you'll straighten the legs. You might do both at the same time if you're feeling fancy. Give yourself a little kick there. Feel into the backs of the legs, just to see how your hamstrings are feeling today and how they're waking up this morning. And as your feet are sort of lifted, you might even point and flex through the toes, the foot, the ankle. Yeah, roll out a bit, flare the toes. You got it. Really great. Really great. Nice. And then you'll take both legs straight up. So they're both up towards the sky. They don't have to be straight though. They could be slightly bent. They could be on a slight angle. And you'll keep your left leg where it is. So the left leg stays up, but the right leg will start to lower down and you'll lower it straight out in front of you. So it sort of reaches towards me at the front and you'll hover the legs. So your legs are like in an L shape here. Keep your low back down. Notice if you stopped breathing. As you inhale, return your leg up, right leg goes up, and then you'll switch. And so you'll then scissor your other leg. Your left leg goes down, let it hover off the ground a little bit. And then keep moving and switch. You got it. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Right leg will start to lower. If you need to hold your legs, you can hold your legs. But can you do this on your breath? And then you'll breathe in, lift the leg, and switch. Go again, maybe do one more time each side, maybe one more time for each of your legs in this manner. And so you're feeling what you feel in the backs of your legs and also in your core. It is a bit of core engagement, I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Great. And then once you've sort of on your honor completed both of your sides, you feel slightly even, bend your knees, return your feet to the ground and breathe. Yeah. That felt good, great. If that felt uncomfortable or more stressful than you'd like, we will try it again. Another option might be to bring your thumbs or your hands right underneath your bottom. So you kind of sit on your hands a bit. That might help relieve some low back stress there. And then draw the knees into the chest and extend your legs straight up towards the sky. Again, they don't have to be straight. The knees can be generously bent. Again, if you need to kind of tuck your thumbs or your hands underneath your hips, that might support you. Okay. So we just did one leg at a time. If you like that, stay there. You might try two legs at the same time. So you lower both of your legs. Yeah, you got it. Right out in front of you, maybe halfway, maybe like 3/4 of the way down, and then breathe in, lift the legs back up. Your knees can always bend in this. You got it. Beautiful. Try it again. Exhale, lower the legs. Yeah, the feet fiercely kick out in front of you. Nice, Des. And then you lift up. And you'll do maybe 3 rounds of this if this feels okay and you want to kind of amp it up a bit. Perhaps you go a little faster, maybe you go a little slower and hold the shape. Notice what's happening in the front of your body. Your core, your belly is probably turning on a bit. You'll exhale to lower. If at any point this is too much, you bend your knees or put your feet on the ground or go back to one leg at a time. And so maybe 2 more rounds on your honor. Maybe 2 more rounds on your honor. Yeah, really nice. It's like low intense core work, right? We're not going crazy here. And then once you've sort of finished, you'll then, finish your last round. You'll bend your knees and return your feet to the ground. Take a breath. You might need to traction out low back a little bit, rock a little bit side to side, do what you need to do. Yeah, to feel good in your back, your hips. Okay. And so we'll do one more little maneuver here. Let's draw the right knee into the chest. So you'll bend it and draw it in, and then straighten out your left leg out in front of you, out long towards the edge of the mat. And you can lower the heel, so you can let the leg rest on the ground. Left leg is resting on the earth. The right leg is, well, it's in towards your chest. You got it. Okay. So now I want you to take your right leg and bring it out a little bit wider, as if you were opening the gate of your leg out to the side. So it comes out towards your right outer hip, your right ribs, the right armpit. You got it. Nice. And then from here, as if you sort of landed on your back in a tree pose, I want you to find your tree pose. And so the sole of the foot connects somewhere to the inside of the leg. You got it. And you can let it rest on the floor. It doesn't have to hover. It could land wherever it lands, and it could be steady on the ground. Nice. And then your arms are wherever they've landed. They could be on your body or at your side. Nice. Okay. Now from here, so your tree is resting, your tree leg or your right leg is resting. I want you to keep the gate of your leg open. So the knee is open. And all I want you to do is pick up your foot, your leg from the ground. So now it's like a hovering tree. So you're right. Yeah, that's it. Your right leg just sort of hovers. It's a little bit more engaged. Great. Okay. Last thing, right from here, without moving the shape of the thigh and the thigh in its socket, maybe work your right leg towards straight. So it sort of kicks out towards the side. Yeah, that's it. Sort of kicks out towards the side, kicks out towards the side, kicks out towards the side. And then let it roll down. It's going to slide down towards your left leg. So let the right leg meet the left leg, and then draw the right knee back into the chest before it lands there. Draw the knee back into the chest. You got it. Okay, did you see that little thing? We're gonna do it again. Open to tree, let your right leg sort of hover there. Work your leg straight. It sort of karate kicks out to the side. Swing the leg down to meet your left. You got it. And draw the right knee back into the chest. Hey, that's just delightful. Do it again. Open to tree. Extend your leg. Doesn't have to kick straight. Gorgeous. Yeah. Slide your right heel down to meet your left and then draw the right knee back in. You go one more time. One more time like that. Open it out. So you're feeling this in the hip. You might feel a little hamstring as you kick the leg, a little core as you lower the leg. Last time, draw your right knee in, give it a squeeze. And then exhale, let it land next to your left leg. So straighten out both legs in front of you and feel what you feel here. Whew. And breathe. Okay, so we do it again. Take your left knee, so the opposite knee, draw it in, give it a little squeeze. Might flare the toes or shake out the ankle if you need. And then you open your knee to the side and then land the tree pose. You're in a tree that sort of fell on its back. You got it. Notice if the low back or your two, the right and left halves of your pelvis can sort of land evenly. Although this is an uneven ground, so that's kind of difficult. I get that. I get that. Okay, keep your hands where they are and then lift your left leg off of the ground. So the left leg stays open. It looks like it's a lifted tree. Start to extend your left leg a little bit towards straight. It kicks to the side. And then you'll swing the leg down, let the heel meet the right heel. Before it meets, draw the knee back into the chest. You made a little half circle. And then you do it again. Open to the side like a tree. Extend your leg towards straight. And then reach the heel towards your right heel, lowers down. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest. You got it. And you'll go again. Open to tree. Kick your leg towards straight. Use your breath, your energy, your core to bring the heel to meet your left heel and then draw the knee in. So you'll go one more time like this. This is delightful. Open the leg. Straighten it out. Slide the heel to meet your left and then bring the right knee in. And then, yeah, and then lower it down. Oh, sorry, that was left. And then lower it down. Okay. Last little final energizing thing here on our back. You'll bend both of your knees and put your feet on the ground as if you were moving into a bridge, which we are. But I want you to initiate this bridge from the press down in your heels. So the arms are by your side, head and shoulders stay grounded. Push into the feet and start to lift the hips here on a breath in. Stay with your hips lifted as you breathe out and steady in, steady out with the breath. Use your legs. And I know the ground is uneven, so it's probably a little bit harder to get information from the earth here. Use the strength of your legs to root to rise. So that's the plan actually for today. The practice will be a lot of that root to rise, sort of grounding into the feet to find the lift up. That's why we worked core and legs. And then on your exhale, you'll slowly lower your hips down and pause. If you need to take some twists here or bring your knees side to side or hug your knees in, you do that. Give yourself another breath. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then you'll bring yourself back up to sit. So you can go in whichever way you want. You can push down in your elbows and press up or roll to one side or rock and roll yourself up to sit. And then let's get to all fours. So bring your palms and your knees down on the mat. Nice. Spread well through your fingers. You can start a few rounds of cat-cow here. It might feel good to open up the front body after some of that core engagement. Yeah, really nice. So your belly drops. You can tuck and untuck your toes. Feel energy through your feet. Beautiful. Strength through your arms as you press down. Strength through the tops of the feet, the knees even as you press down. And your stance can be as wide as you need. If you need a little bit more space, widen your feet, widen your hands. I'd say go more wide than narrow. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, we'll do one last little bit of core engagement right here. Some gentle core stuff right on all fours. And so touch your right toes back behind you. Keep your right toe, yeah, make sure you have space. Keep your right foot on the ground. Keep the ribs lifted. And now reach your left arm forward. So now You've got 3 limbs sort of on the ground. Yeah, you got it. Nice. Now notice what shifts as you picked up one of your limbs. Now stay, or go ahead and pick up your right leg, maybe. And we're not drawing in, we're sort of just reaching. So I want you to kick back towards the cars behind you and reach forward toward Arnaldo, doing the same thing here with the ribs engaged. And can you inform this lift from the press down of your hands and your shin and foot, knee that's on the ground? You got it. Okay. Now listen carefully, lower your left hand so the hands are down. As you exhale, draw your right knee in. Now you might take it wide to the elbow or draw it into the navel, depends on where you want to bring it. You go again, kick the right leg back behind you, and then exhale, draw the knee in. Good morning. You go once more, kick your leg back, and draw the leg in. Give it a little squeeze here. You kind of press the floor away and then lower your knee down. Let's sit back into child's pose. So the knees go wide, you settle the hips back, and you sink your body down. You got it. Child's as a moment to breathe and rest. But you can also sit up, right? If child's pose doesn't feel very comfortable for you, you can always sit upright. Oops, sorry. Yeah, how you doing over here? Gorgeous. So let's go back. We go one more time in this way, all fours. Remember, it's a root to rise. So it's the same thing. It's root down in the hands to lift up. So you're here, touch your left toes back behind you and stay. So you've got your foot on the ground, the toes are down. And then you have to steady yourself. You might shift your weight a little bit to now reach your right arm forward. So you still have 3 limbs on the ground. So you can stay right there if you feel steady and balanced. Make sure the back of your neck is long, right? There's no wrinkles in the back of your neck. Now, if you'd like, pick up your back leg. You got it. You might lift the leg. That's your left leg. And there's this fierce kick back with the heel as you continually reach forward with the arm and notice the wobble. Notice the wiggle, especially on uneven ground. And so what has to sort of compensate for that? Maybe your core has to turn on, maybe your outer right hip, particularly the one that's on the ground. And then lower your right hand. So both hands are down. And then as you exhale, draw your left knee in. It could go into belly or wide to your elbow. And then kick your leg back. You go twice more just like that. Exhale, draw the knee in, wide or more narrow into the navel. One more time. Exhale, the knee draws in. And then lower your knee down. You'll go child's pose one last time here. Knees either wide or close together. Maybe you sit up if you'd like. Yeah, you can always bring the hands back and sort of manage out your wrists if you need to roll your wrists around. Okay. And so we'll reach forward and return to all fours, which will then prep us into our first downward facing dog. So you'll tuck your toes, pick up your knees, and land yourself back to dog. Now, if dog doesn't feel right for you, stay in all fours. It's fine. You can stay in all fours. And I want you to know that you can always come back to all fours if that's really where you want to be. This feels great. Great. Shake out your head, maybe swing out your hips a bit, bend one knee at a time. And we'll be in dog just for a little bit because we'll play with, again, a little bit of root to rise. And so you're in your downward facing dog. I want you to steady your hands and your feet, but the weight must shift just a little bit into your left foot. And I want you to pick up your right foot, but not back behind you. So it's sort of, yeah, that's it. It sort of hovers off the ground. And so it's kind of hanging out there. You haven't lifted it back yet. You're pressing in both of your hands, your left foot, your right leg is sort of hovering. And then kick your leg back. And so now the heel lifts, the inner thigh lifts. You sort of wagged your dog tail up in the air. If you want to bend your knee, you can. If you want to open the hip, you can. You're in a 3-legged dog. Doesn't matter what it looks like. You got 3 limbs on the ground. And then exhale, lower your foot. So you're returning to dog. Okay, if you're good, stay. If you need to bring your knees down, bring your knees down. Let's do the same thing. We go second side. So the left foot hovers just a bit. It doesn't kick back yet. It just, yeah, it kind of picks up. You gotta have to maneuver how to hold up yourself with your 3 limbs. And then breathe. Go ahead and kick your foot back. So now it goes to the parking lot. You want to bend your knee? You can. If you want to flare out your toes, do that. You're in this three-limbed dog, managing on three limbs, and then lower your left foot down. Look slightly forward, soften your knees so you could bring your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet, and we'll arrive in a forward fold. So you'll kind of make your way into a forward bend. And if you want to bring your blocks to you, you might bring your blocks to you. If you're folding and you need to put your hands on something. So you're hanging out here. If you want to separate your feet slightly, do that. Maybe you grab your elbows down here. Yeah. Yeah, maybe give a little swing or a sway, roll out your wrists, your head, your neck, shake out your hips. You got it. You got it. Really nice. You'll stay here just for another moment. If you need to switch the grip of your hands, do that. If you're good, stay. And then very slowly, let's lift halfway first. So if you want to bend your knees, put your hands on your knees, look slightly forward. Maybe your hands are on blocks. I kind of want you to kind of just organize your balance here. Your gaze is slightly forward, and then press down and rise all the way up. So you might roll up here. You can drop chin if you'd like. You'll come to stand in a mountain pose. And if you have to walk your feet together or wider apart, you do that. You organize your feet in a way that allows you to feel the most stable. Your toes face forward. Yeah, and we've arrived after all that. Okay, so again, the practice is this sort of grounding to find lift. So our first shape today, standing, will be a chair pose. And again, I might keep your feet slightly wider apart. Yeah, so bend the knees, the hips go back. You might reach forward in just for today, right? A forward reach might sort of balance you out a bit. If you feel like you want to bring the arms over your head, that's always your choice. But you're sort of sinking back and you feel really grounded. You feel grounded, even though there might be some energy that's happening in your thighs or your glutes. Great. Now bring your hands to prayer. Now shift your weight side to side. Just kind of feel it to the right. Okay, turn that side on. Feel it to the left. Shift your weight. Maybe go back. You're still in your chair, even though your knees are bent and you're shifting. Now shift your weight to the left side, So your right foot gets a little bit lighter. I want you to stand straight on your left leg and bring your right knee and maybe catch it. Maybe catch a hold of your right leg. So you're standing on your left leg. You've got your right knee up with you. Now you can always touch toes down and bring the leg back up. Okay. Can you let go of the leg and still hold the pose? Nice. Reach your arms forward. Bend your standing leg, the one you're standing on, and step back to chair pose. Whew. Okay. Okay. Are you holding your breath? Maybe don't hold your breath. Shift your weight to the opposite leg. So you should probably on your right foot. Bring your hands to prayer, just so they're ready to catch your knee. And then you'll push down to straighten your right leg. And then there's your knee. Maybe catch it. Maybe don't. Maybe kind of just touch the toes down. Notice the irregularity of this ground is really affecting balance. And then the hands come to prayer, and maybe you don't hold the leg and it's hovering. And then you bend your standing leg and step your foot down, you're back to chair. So 2 feet on the ground. Woo! Organize yourself in chair. And then straighten the legs and lower the arms. And pause and breathe. And notice what you feel. And then you'll bend your knees again. Your feet are slightly even wider apart. Land your hands somewhere on your knees or your thighs. And we'll take a few rounds of standing cat-cow. And so your hips go back a little bit, the sitting bones towards the parking lot, and then you kind of round in. Because sometimes when we work on standing balances, particularly, we take a lot of energy in the low back. And I don't want that. Nobody wants that. And so some cat-cow might feel good, maybe, to lengthen, give you some space. And then maybe one more round of standing cat-cow. And then you'll rise up to stand. Shake that out. Okay. So we're going to add on. Same thing, but when the knee is lifted, I'll ask you to straighten it out in front of you. with the grass all over your feet, okay? So it's a kick forward. All right, so bend the knees, you're in your chair pose, Utkatasana. Your arms can reach forward, they can also reach up, they can also stay anywhere at your heart. Shift the weight to your left foot. Get light on the right foot. Press down to straighten your standing leg and bring the right knee up to your chest. Now you might hold the leg, maybe hold it underneath. You can also touch your foot down. Sometimes I use a block as a way of giving myself a wall. Now, grab your leg underneath. So interlace hands, but the thigh, maybe kick your leg forward. Maybe rebend the knee here. Let it go. Bend your standing leg and step down. Come back to your chair. Bring your hands to prayer at your heart. Shift your weight to your right foot. Get a little light on your left foot so you can push down into the right heel. Feel your sitting bones anchor down to the ground and pick up your left knee. You can always bring it to a block. Interlace your hands back underneath your left leg, so at the hamstring, and then maybe straighten the leg out in front of you. Be on an angle, you got it. Rebend your knee. Let it go. Bend your legs, come back to chair pose. Push into the ground, straighten both of your legs and let your arms hang down. Whew. And then another full breath in. If you like that cat and cow, you can do that again. If you need to swing your hips in any way, do that. Okay. So the last thing we're going to do to add on is going to be another balance. It's going to look the same. So lift, kick, bend, warrior three. Okay. And so warrior three sometimes needs a little bit of support. So if you have blocks and you want them, bringing blocks on a high level, as you kick back, you might land your hands on the blocks, which give you a little bit of support, and then you're in that shape. I'm gonna give you my blocks. Got them. These are a little wet. No, you're good. Okay, so let's come back to chair pose. So the blocks, if they're there, if you need them, bend your knees, you got it. Reach forward. Another thing that you could do is use your water bottle. Okay, so here we are. Bring your hands to prayer. Shift your weight to your left leg, same. Push down and pick up your right knee. So the right knee picks up. Maybe you straighten out your right leg. You can hold it underneath or not. You'll rebend your knee. And here it is. Tip your chest forward, kick your right leg back. Now you can reach your arms back and fly like a superhero, or maybe put your hands on that water bottle or two blocks out in front of you. Your back leg could be lifted or as low as you need it to be. You got it. Nice work. Okay, here's the plan. We're stepping back. So soften your standing leg, the one that's on the ground, so you can land your right foot way back behind you and lift your chest. Reach your arms up. We go lunge. We go a high lunge here. High lunge. You got it. Yeah, and if you need to reorganize, you reorganize. Give yourself a breath in and a breath out. Great. Straighten your front leg and lower the arms. And then I want you to ground your back foot. Yeah, so Carrie, you're good. But I'm going to step my foot a little bit wider and a little bit more closer in so I can push my foot on the ground. So now I have 2 feet steady on the ground. Bring your hands to your hips. Lift your chest a bit. And then you'll reach your chest slightly forward. And maybe you reach for those blocks or water bottles so you can fold. This will be like a pyramid pose, we'll call this. You might have to, bring them closer to you. Got it. The hips press back. You might feel this in the legs a bit, the outer hip, the hamstrings, perhaps. You got it. Nice. Okay, so from here, you'll lift your chest a bit, and you might take your blocks with you. We're going to swivel or take our whole body to the right. So the left toes turn in, and now we're in a wide stance. So the legs are wide, the toes are facing the wide edge of the mat, and we fold again. So here's another forward fold. It's more of a straddle shape. You got it. Yeah, use the blocks or not. Use the blocks if you need or not. You need to bend into your knees a bit. Sometimes that feels good. Bend one knee, bend another knee. Let your head hang, bring the head down. Nice. To the ground. You got it. Yeah. Wide straddle. Or wide is relative. It could be as wide or as narrow as you need it to be. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. And so from here, let's lift the chest a bit. So you'll look slightly forward and then bring the hands to your hips. So you're sort of in this flat back shape. I want you to push into your feet and then rise all the way up to stand. Nice and slow with control. Lift yourself upright. Big old reach, take the arms over your head and clap the prayer high to the sky. And then exhale, lower the arms down by your side. Okay, so now we want to sort of turn the front foot. So for you, it's your left foot, the one that's at the front of the mat. Yeah, you're going to swivel on the heel, turn the left toes forward, bend the knee. Might have to step the right foot back a bit as you come into warrior two. Yeah. Yeah. So rearrange yourself for your warrior two. Beautiful. And you're on the left side, which I know is weird. We're doing lefts first this time. It's okay. I taught like this all week. It was weird. Flip your left palm. Let's reach the left arm right up to the sky and then lean back towards the parking lot behind us for a peaceful warrior. And then let's lift back up warrior two. Straighten through your front left leg. That's your left one. Reach slightly forward and let's tip into triangle. And so the left hand, fingertips can come down to the thigh or the shin bone. And your right arm, well, it could stay on your hip if your shoulder's feeling funky. Can also reach directly up to the sky. You got it. Trikonasana, your triangle shape. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Okay, so here's the plan. Let's root to rise. Push into particularly your right foot to lift you back up. Let's return warrior two. Warrior two. Yeah, you got it. So as you've lifted your torso, your left knee is now bent. We've got one more balance shape that we'll take, which is a half moon balance or your Ardha Chandrasana. Now I've will move my water bottle around for support. So we're gonna lean slightly forward and take your back foot slightly in and tip down. Left hand will come to floor or your block or your water bottle and your right leg picks up. So you root down to pick up your back leg in any amount, this half moon balance. You got it. So your right leg picks up. I'd probably walk your right foot, your back foot walks in. Your back foot walks in just a little bit, and then maybe it lifts up. Maybe it lifts up. Yeah, that's it. You got it. You got it. And then listen, your exit strategy is a forward fold. So soften your knees, look down, and bring your right foot to meet your left. You fold at the front edge of your mat. Yeah. So we were playing with a little balance shapes today. You got another breath here. If you want to grab your elbows, give a little swing or soften your knees, do that. You're in a forward bend at the front edge of your mat. Nice. Beautiful. So we've got one more round. So let's root down to rise up. If you need to come halfway first, you come halfway, or you come all the way up. Let's take the arms up overhead on this round. Big old breath in. Interlace your fingers up over your head and press the palms up just for a little bit of a stretch here. Feel super grounded in your heels. Yeah, and then exhale, lower the arms. Okay, settle in for your chair. So the knees bend and the arms reach forward. This is where we started, so this is where we're going to start again. We begin again. Bring the hands to prayer at your heart. And now, because we're on the other side, the weight shifts to your right foot. And the left foot gets a little bit light. And then you push down to straighten your right leg and give your catch your left knee. You can hold it or not. Good. Maybe you stay here. You might extend your leg out in front of you. So you can kick it with hands or no hands. Yeah, really nice. Rebend your knee. And here's our warrior three. So your chest tips down. Your left leg pendulums back. Fingertips can certainly land on blocks. Your leg can be on an angle and your toes can always touch the ground. Or maybe you find a little balance and find a lift here. And so the outer shoulders lift, the inner thigh lifts, the heart yearns forward. You're in your warrior three, you got it. And then here we go, we land back. So bend your front knee and step back with your left foot. Woo, we move into our lunge, and the arms swing up. Nice. Feel what's happening now in the sort of outer border of your right hip that sort of steadied you in for that warrior three shape. Another breath here, strong in your legs, light in your arms. And let's straighten the front leg. So lift and then lower the hands. And now your feet are grounded, but I'm going to ground my back foot. So you sort of step a little wider and maybe draw your foot in a little bit closer. You can bring your hands to your hips. I'm grabbing my water bottle. You'll lift your heart just a bit. So you might look up here. And as you exhale, you come forward. So lower the chest and the hands can come to the floor if you can reach the floor. And they might land on something just to support. This is a pyramid pose. Yeah, pyramid. And because both of your feet are steady on the ground, right? You can sort of feel that. Can you push evenly into both of your heels? So the right heel is the one in the front, but then even particularly the left heel, it sort of pushes down and back into the ground. The exhale might lower the body just a little bit more. And then look slightly forward. Now we're gonna move this shape. And so you'll start to move your upper body towards the right wide edge of your mat as you turn your right toes in. So now we're facing the wide edge of the mat. You got it. And here's your straddle fold. And so maybe you brought your block with you and you fold here. Yeah, really nice. And so we did this on the other side. Legs are the same, but notice if there's any difference in this feeling or this shape. You might bend your knees or shake your head a bit. Yeah. And then very slowly and carefully, bring your hands to your hips so you can kind of get your bearings, look slightly forward. Push down into your feet so you can lift your torso. You come upright. And then swing the arms up over your head and clap your prayer high. And then as you exhale, lower the arms. So press the arms out wide, the air around you. And then we swivel the front toes. So your right toes, the one at the front of the mat, you'll swivel on the heel, bend the knee. Might have to walk your back leg back a bit. Open the arms, warrior two. On the right side. Beautiful. Yeah. Nice. Stay deep here in the front knee, deep down into both of your heels. Flip your right palm up, reach the right peace fingers up towards the sky and lean back, back, back. Maybe feel side stretch, what that feels like. Beautiful. Nice. And then come up right back to warrior two. Nice. Keep the arms as they are, straighten your front leg. Let's reach forward and tip down for triangle shape. Fingers land somewhere lightly on your ankle or your shin bone, even your thigh or your hip, as you reach up towards the sky. And if there's any tension or stress in the top shoulder, you can always lower it down. Yeah, always lower it down. Stay strong in your legs. And then you root to rise. Push down into your back foot so you can lift yourself back up, back up. You go warrior two, exhale. Okay, so here's our final balance. Your left foot, your back foot's gonna walk in, so you can sort of reach forward and then maybe down. You could be on the ground or your block, and then start to pick up your back foot for your half moon balance. Your top arm can certainly lift to the sky. It doesn't have to, it can stay on your hip. Nice, is grounding down into your right heel and then expand in all directions from the crown through the heel. Whew, maybe you got another breath in you in this shape, this balance. Ready to come out, you'll look down, soften your knees so the pelvis can turn, and then you step forward. Whew, and you hang. You made it. Both feet are on the ground. Let yourself fold. Beautiful. Let's rise up to stand, nice and slow and steady and even. And let's swing the arms up again. Let's gather all that energy. Feel that breeze coming through. It is a really good day to be outside, isn't it? And bring the hands right. Doesn't it feel good? Okay, so we did tree on our back, right? We saw that. We're gonna do tree again. So that's our last balance pose of the day. You'll shift your weight over to one foot. You can maybe start on your left foot and pick the knee up and you'll open the gate of your right leg. Now you might start really low with your foot on the ground, maybe at your ankle bone. Yeah, and you stay there. And you sort of find this lift so you can feel this rise. Now, if you want to go a little higher, you can always pick up the foot. If you want to catch the ankle and bring the foot to your inner thigh, you can do all of that if you'd like, or you stay low so you really feel grounded. And then you might go wide with the arms. You might reach the arms over your head. How do you use this uneven ground to inform the energy that's happening in your body, your outer hip? Nice. And then slowly lower the arms. You'll close the gate of the leg so the knee turns in, and then you step down. Oof, and then you can shake it out. Yeah, because you then feel what you feel on that standing leg hip. And then other side. So nothing fancy. You switch the weight. It's very deliberate. Switch the weight. Pick up your left knee or whatever knee you're working with, and then you open it wide, and it could stay nice and low, maybe at the ankle bone. And from there, everything kind of hugs into the middle. The navel lifts, the heart lifts, the crown lifts, maybe the arms lift. And then you choose how high you want to bring your tree leg. You plant your tree in a way that gives you the most stability here. It's not knocking you off your course. Ooh, you feel that breeze coming through and you sort of feel super lifted. Another breath in and empty out. Allow the hands to float down. You can close the gate of your leg, wherever it was, and then land it. All right. Let's move into a vinyasa to sort of even that out. So we'll come back to front of the mat, and as you inhale, swing the arms up, up, up. As you exhale, soften the knees as you dive down. You can touch floor or blocks. Yeah, move them out of your way. Look slightly forward as you're in your fold, and then soften your knees. Let's step back to plank pose. If you need to step to all fours first, you can do that. Yeah, you can organize yourself. We'll meet in a plank pose, or you can always stay in all fours. Beautiful. Yeah, really nice. You guys are like in this. Another breath here. And then let's bring the knees to the ground so you can lower all the way onto your belly. And we'll play in with a little cobra shape here. And so inhale, lift your chest. The hands can be on the ground. Yeah, like an up dog or a supported cobra. You got it. Nice choices. You all know it. Exhale, lower down. Now we're going to stay here and we're going to fly. So I want you to bring your arms back behind you. They're going to kind of, reach towards your hips, towards your feet, or by your hips towards your feet. And then as you inhale, lift the back of your head, lift the outer shoulders, lift the arms, lift the legs, and you're flying like a superhero. And so this shape almost mimics your warrior 3. You've just started sort of keeping your pelvis grounded here. You've got it. You're in locust. And so again, it's this route to rise, even though you're still mostly on the ground. Stay connected with the front ridge of your pelvis. You reach back with your fingers, back with your toes, forward with the crown of your head. Maybe another soft breath gets you a little bit higher or longer. And then exhale, you empty out and lower down. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. So we're going to do one more of these little back bend shapes. You might choose to do that again. That's your locust, that little flying superhero pose. Or you might take a cobra. Maybe you play into an up dog if that feels really comfortable for you. And so make your choice. As you inhale, you'll lift up. You can take your elbows down and take your supported cobra, or reach back and fly like a superhero. And so breathe in and go ahead and take your lift of choice. Yeah, really nice. Gorgeous. Yeah, perfect. Really informed choices. This last sort of little back bendy shape here, another breath. And then you exhale, let everything lower to the ground. Here you might stack your hands like a pillow and put your face, or turn your face to one side, rest your head. Maybe even wiggle out your hips a bit, or bend your knees and shake your shins a bit, just for some low back relief. Yeah. This hour went by really fast, so. Okay, and then you'll stop, pause. Let's come back to all fours tabletop. So remember, right in the beginning, we were in our table. You'll press back to table. And I want you to take some cat-cow here. You might swing your hips a bit side to side. You can even kind of roll yourself around a bit just to release any of that, any residual tension in the low back from those little back bends that we just did. Oh, side to side, side to side, and then maybe a child's pose. So I'll offer and invite in a child's pose, which might feel really great and kind of restful. But if you want another way to neutralize your back, you can go downward facing dog. If you want to go downward facing dog, you are more than welcome to arrive in a down dog. You can also stay exactly where you are. Right? So you make an informed choice for this last bit of energy or last bit of ease. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, we didn't do much in the arms today. We did mostly legs. So be mindful. You'll give yourself another round of breath in whatever shape you chose, And then very slowly, we'll all come to sit. And so however you make your way to sit, you'll bring yourself to sit, swing your legs out in front of you. And yeah, the legs are out in front of you. They could be as narrow in or as wide apart as you need. Yeah, and you'll kind of organize yourself in an upright seat. Okay. And then can you reach your arms forward? Now, you could bend your knees for this, right? If you're feeling like I'm unsteady, you can always bend your knees if you feel unstable. I will certainly support it just a bit. Okay, I want you to lift through the crown. And then as you exhale, reach forward like you're reaching past your toes. Reach past your toes. Reach past. Maybe reach past. Maybe reach past. And then inhale, sip yourself back up. So same thing. We'll come back to this sort of Dandasana shape. As you exhale, reach past your toes, maybe even go a little further. So you're digging into the heels if they're on the ground, you're lifting up through your center, and then you breathe in, sit yourself back up. And then you go one more time. Yeah, so your legs can be as narrow as you'd like. They can be close together. Exhale, I just need a little space. You'll reach forward, you'll reach forward, you'll reach forward, and then you'll land. And so the hands can come down. Hey, maybe they grab the toes. They don't have to. Maybe they're on your thighs. Maybe they're on the ground, but now you're in a seated forward fold. Version of a Paschimottanasana. Yeah. And then very slowly breathe yourself upright. So push into the hips and root to rise up. And then you'll make sure you have space behind you. So kind of wriggle forward if you need. And then the same thing, except we're going to go back. So you'll reach forward. And we sort of did this earlier in the practice. You'll tuck the chin and start to roll back. And if you want to go down as quicker, you might bring the elbows down and bring yourself all the way down. If you want a little bit more core engagement, you might reach back and kind of hover, right? And then maybe as you go down, like the low back touches, but the shoulder blades are on the ground. So I'm dropping my elbows down for a little bit of support, but you can reach forward for a little bit more energy. So come on down. Maybe the shoulder blades hover. Maybe then the shoulders and then the head drops. And then, oh, you've landed on your back. You can take your rest right here if you're ready and exhale everything out for your final rest. If there's any other shapes you might need, any other stretches, well, then you can do that right here. So we get to settle. We get to settle for a few moments together in this rest. Bless. Gurudev Nam. Om Nam. Gurudev Nam. Om Nam. Gurudev Nam. Gurudev Namo. Gurudev Namo. You can guide your attention gently back to your breath right here, giving yourself a full and deep in breath and a full and complete exhale. And you might bring that breath to move your body slightly, slowly, gently. Your fingers might move through your legs or your toes. You can reach up and over your head, full stretch. You might bend your knees here, give a final squeeze of your body, maybe a gentle rock. This could lead you directly up to sit or onto your side for a moment. And then we'll all meet some way and somehow in an upright seat. So as you're ready, you'll press yourself back up and feel down into your hips, lifted through your heart, your spine, your crown. You can close down your eyes or keep them open if you'd like. And you'll hear this mantra one last time. Gurudev Namo. And as we started 3 rounds of those rolling ohms that connect us to each other, this practice, everyone else, all beings outside of this space. Deep breath in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. We honor the light, the teacher, the guide that is within, and all those teachers and guides that came before us. Thank you for your practice, your energy, your presence this morning. Namaste.